Oh, what's up? All right, sorry about the travel. More about the delay that is. I was actually traveling. I was gonna do this stream while I was driving. Decided that I should pull over and park and try to get a little more organized here. So I'll try to make this quick. The way that I like to rationalize how I look at corporations or large entities, NASA, the government, things like that, right? I like to look at these large entities and look at their actions, and I look at those actions, and I try to gauge that whether or not it was a single individual. You know what I mean? Like if you hung out with a person like NASA, for instance, real quick. If we're talking about you hanging out with your buddy NASA and you hear about them, coming up with this, we got a contract, we got in the annual budget, by the way, for fiscal year 20, for NASA is $22.6 billion. I just looked that up today. That rounds out to somewhere around 61,917,000, something like that, a day. 61 million, $900,000 a day is going to NASA now. So yeah, I just looked that up earlier. If you had a buddy NASA that came up with all this money on a regular basis, and they weren't really providing anything to humanity, you would probably look at them like they were kind of a scumbag. We'll use that as a term here. I was gonna name a body part. You can guess, I'm sure. You would probably look at that person like they were a scumbag, if in fact you knew that they were collecting that much money and weren't doing anything for humanity. I look at the billionaires and politicians the same way because they got millions and millions of dollars, and they're not really doing anything good for the people. You know what I'm saying? Me personally, and this is just me being a weirdo. If I had millions of dollars, I would just automatically start doing good things. I'd start doing good things for people. It's just what I would do. After I'm taken care of, my immediate family's taken care of, that's only going to require like, less than 5 million, easy. I'm a low maintenance dude, but when I see these people with all this money and they're not doing anything, they're not taking care of people, they're not providing housing, shelter, things like that. I look at them like, I don't know. If you look at it like that, I kind of start to hate these people. You know what I'm saying? So I try to get away from that. But what I do is I'll look at these large corporations as if they're just one person, and that kind of came back to the forefront of my mind recently because I saw this post on Facebook, and it was basically comparing government to being in an abusive relationship. It's like the scenario was, imagine a man told his wife that she can't leave home to go see her friends, family. She can't go to her job, right? And then imagine that if she decided that she really needed to go, it had to be like a really pressing issue. It has to be really important in order for you to go. And if you do go, if you do leave the house for some reason or another, that you need to cover your face and you need to stay away from people. And if that husband finds out that his wife was out there, not avoiding people, not with their face covered, that she would be punished. And it posed the question, would you consider this abusive? Obviously, the answer is yes. And then it said that doesn't change just because it's the government. And that hit because I mean that makes sense. If it were one, if that were a man doing to a woman what the government is doing to us as a collective, then yeah, we would call that an abusive relationship. Um, so I gotta watch what I'm saying. There's certain words I can't say. See, you're on the live stream. The playback is just gonna go on. But what happened? The video. It's like my phone just blinked out as soon as I said the G word, um, specifying the powers that shouldn't be. When I use the G word, then they glitched my phone. I jumped off of a stream and I had to get back on YouTube, hit resume live stream, like they cut me off. So that's what happens. Before before I went live with this video, I had another video that I was about to go live with, that I decided that I would take down. The title must have gone against community standards, the YouTube community guidelines and all that, because the title of the video was "Are we in an abusive relationship with the government?" That was the title of the video, and because I put that title up on that video, I had I was like, nah, let me pull over. I'm driving. I'm making too much noise. I had to. I decided I would take the video down, but as soon as I took the video down, there was a notification on my screen. I should have done a screenshot. It said that we had to remove some of your content because it violated community standards. I am fairly certain that the content that was just removed from my channel was that video that I was about to say there. So we can't say the G word now. You can't say the V word. So I'll say injections if I'm talking about the V word. We're gonna have to get creative about this whole situation because I mean, the censorship is real at this point, and I don't think anybody can deny that because the CEO of YouTube just came out, like last month, saying that videos that go against the WHO, against their guidelines, anything that goes guidelines, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and remove that. Videos that say things like take vitamin C or use turmeric, things like that. So we got to get creative. So if we're going to talk about some invasive cellular technology, we got to, I don't know, say something like live free or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Hive B. you know. So we gotta mix it up to get around the censorship with these people. So that's what's going on right now. But anyway, that's a way of looking at this thing as if we are in an abusive relationship. Because if we look at the G word as an individual person, that's basically what they're doing to all of us. We're in a relationship like that if we look at it from that perspective. And one thing that we can be optimistic about is that a lot of people are starting to figure that out. A lot more people are starting to understand that um, that those folks are not on our side, that they're not working for the benefit of humanity. So there was that whole aspect of this situation that people are starting to figure this out, and that's a good thing. People in California, of course, are starting to figure this thing out because it's it's going crazy in California. I mean, things are kind of clamping down here as far as what the governor Inslee's talking about, but people are waking up really fast to this thing. So what I do is look at these entities as if it's a single person. But I was doing that like before this, so that meme that I saw, that kind of triggered that thought in my head again. And the reason why I'm kind of anti G word is because let's think about this scenario again. Okay, let's look at this. When you get a new puppy, what do you do with that puppy? You go you go pick up that new puppy, that cute little puppy from a shelter, and you realize on the way home that you have to provide for this puppy. And I mean, we can look at this from an adult or a human or a child's perspective of when you get a new dog. When you get that dog, you have to provide for this dog. There's a shopping list you're gonna have to put together. You're definitely gonna need a new bowl. You're gonna need to pick up some dog food. Um, you're going to maybe get a dog house, and you're gonna get that. Maybe a collar, maybe a collar with the dog's name on it. I wouldn't recommend the chip. Um, but what happens is you make sure this dog has shelter. You make sure this dog has food. You make sure that dog has clean water. Okay, that's the basics. And if you don't provide those things to this entity, this dog that's dependent on you, then I mean you're looked at as a horrible person. A humane society, somebody called a humane society on you, you could end up getting into a lot of trouble for not taking care of your dog. There's heavy penalties for that type of thing. People will call I don't know, PETA. you know, um, animal control things. Not animal control. That's for like wild animals. But y'all, you know what I'm saying, right? Um, if you don't take care of your pets properly, if you abuse your pets, then you can get into a lot of trouble for that. Now, if we go back to this whole thing about looking at the government like an individual person, you get that dog, you're going to make sure that dog has somewhere warm to sleep. Now, does the government take precautions, take the proper measures to make sure that everyone has a warm place to sleep? No, they don't. Um, does the government that is supposed to be, there for the people, right? That's why they're there, right? We're in a democratic republic, and we voted these people in here, and they represent us, and they're supposed to be looking out for our best interest. Have they curtailed the FDA and made sure that the FDA is adhering to their own standards and not allowing harmful chemicals to be put into our food? No, they're not. So they're not making sure that we get um, food in its most pure capacity. I mean, we still have to go out and earn that, right? Um, as far as water goes, well, shoot, what Flint, Michigan? It's been like 6 years since we heard about the water situation in Flint, Michigan. Like people were getting lead poisoning from the water, the pipes being so old, the water's coming out all brown and rusted. It's causing these babies to grow up with mental deficiencies and all that. It's causing other physical problems to people because they don't have clean water. They don't have access to clean water because, their government officials haven't lifted a finger to take care of them, right? So the government doesn't make sure that people have a warm place to sleep. They don't make sure that we have the proper nutrition. They don't make sure that we have clean water. In essence, it wouldn't be a really far reach to say that the government, shoot, I said it. Um, it wouldn't be a stretch to say that they do not treat us as well as people treat their dogs. You get that? They don't treat us as well as people treat their dog. You're gonna take care of your dog. You're gonna make sure your dog has a little blanket in their dog house. If you even put them outside, you're gonna make sure that you go out there and you feed your dog. That you're gonna give. I mean, heck, even if there's scraps on the table, you're gonna make sure that I'm saying if they can ingest the food that you had, hey, it'll be like a treat to them. Okay, you give them the good stuff up to your dog. Okay, do you make sure your dog's water's clean? Yeah, most people do. Most people do, right? The government doesn't do that for us. So it makes sense to say that they don't even look at us like, they don't treat us as well as people treat their dog, man. But then, you know, you gotta impress upon people to take it another step further. They don't treat us as well as a dog in that we don't get food, shelter, and clean water. Not that we would really want food from the government, but I'm saying. But there are people sitting around waiting for an injection. I'm not going to say the V word. I'm going to say an injection. They're thinking that this whole situation, this whole this whole CV outbreak, they're thinking that this is real. They're falling for it. They're believing the hype, hook, line, and sinker, and they're all into it. And they'll persecute you if you're out at a store without your mask on, and they'll look at you sideways if you get too close. Um, People that you may know, if you see them, they're trying to keep their distance from you. I go to a place where I usually go during, like, on my job, right? So I'll go to like different places. There's this guy I've known this dude for years. I come around, hey man, what's going on? He's like, up 6 feet. I was like, you mother paranoid, stay back, because he's bought into that. He's bought into the nonsense. He's thinking that this is all real. He's actually I guarantee he's watching MSNBC, CNN, the ones that are blowing things up, telling you that things are just going crazy, trusting Fauci, trusting Bill Gates. Even after you show them a video of him on stage saying, yeah, we're looking to reduce the population by 10 to 15%. You can show them that video and they're still going to be like, I mean, but I need that vaccine. Idiots. Idiots. They're believing all of it. And they're going to sit there and get in line as soon as that vaccine's ready. Not even asking the question, why is it that none of these doctors, none of these professionals are getting on here, none of these health ministers are getting on TV talking about how we can cure people, perhaps maybe boosting our immune systems, um, maybe exercise, maybe some science behind the idea that people actually need oxygen. Um, they're not talking about healing. All they're talking about is pills in some form or a vaccine and contact tracing. We need to make sure that we know where you are. It's for your own benefit because they're gonna believe that. These people are actually gonna download the app. They're gonna download the app happily. They're gonna take that vaccine happily. Not even gonna ask a question about what's in it. But they don't even understand the basics of this thing. Or they won't even just take a second to just get outside the box and just think about this. Just think about it. I mean, come on. There's a lot of stuff that can be done in society. They don't want us to collect rainwater. It's illegal to collect rainwater in certain places. That's not a red flag that you're being run by criminals to a degree. Like they want the monopoly on freaking water, rainwater. And people are believing this stuff, man. I don't I don't understand where people's heads are. I really don't. But this is why we have to use these simple analogies just to try to break these things down and get through the thickness in their head, because something's not connecting with these folks. So I like to simplify things. Look at these big entities as like they're one person. Let's do that, and then see how we feel about that organization. You know, see about what their goal is versus what they're telling people they're gonna do. You gotta check the fact that action speaks louder than words. So, these politicians get online and they'll say a whole bunch of good stuff, or these companies will say that they're all about these things and that thing. But then you look at their actions, and if it's contradictory, and if you look at that organization as if it's one person, then for crying out loud, you just got to conclude that they're BSing, they're lying to you. That's not you're not about that. You're not about that life. You're not who you said you are. So I don't trust you. Simple. It's simple. Um, I think that's what this is all about. I think that's what this is all about. What's going to be necessary is for people to change their perspective on how they look at these entities, because if you look at these large organizations as if it's a single individual, then they can see right through it, and say, you know what, based on your track record, and all this information is public. You can go back and do research on any organization, and you can see some corruption in there. You can see the direction of the company. You can see where their money goes, who they're getting their money from, who they're hanging out with, where they're getting their money from, and what the companies that are their lobbyists. You can look into where the lobbyists are getting their money from, and check them out too. It's all available. But a lot of people, they're just like, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. That's a conspiracy theory. I can't trust that. It's ridiculous. Anyway, it's all corrupt. It's all corrupt. And I hope that people figure this out a lot sooner than later. More people are, because we don't have as many distractions. We don't have the football. We don't have the, oh shoot, let me see. I'm messing with the wire. Yeah, we don't have the football. We don't have the basketball. All the sports, the distractions, all that stuff, all those outside events. Though that's done for now. New movies aren't coming out. You can't go to the theater anyway. So now people are starting to take their time, sit down, and actually look into what's going on. Like, yo, what's really going on right now? And it's some interesting stuff happening. I'm looking to go live on Friday, and I'll just probably be grabbing from a lot of different topics, but I'll get on there and I'll chat with y'all on Friday, man. Trying to keep this one short. I'm gonna go ahead and get back on the road, get home. At any rate, appreciate it. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. It does help with the algorithms and all that. Gotta do that YouTube stuff. Okay. Sure appreciate you all. Gonna get back on the road. I don't know if you haven't subscribed. Check to see if you're subscribed. Click the bell. Share to get notifications. All that bull crap. Anyway, as always, be good to each other. Take care of yourself. Stay flat. I'll see you next time. Thank you.